These are MIDI guitars. I'm going to show you how I reamped these guitars through real amps. Hello everyone, my name is Billy. I'm here at Unison Studios, one of the biggest studios in Luxembourg. And I had a production where basically the project is just a drummer and he writes his own stuff. He writes everything in MIDI, including bass, guitar, synths, everything. He even programmed the drums to have a guidance, and we recorded the drums live in here, so I already have that done. And I went through the mix and I noticed that even though the song is intended to be very mechanical, and it is very mechanical, I needed something more from the guitars. I felt like it was not quite synthy enough to not be a guitar. It should still sound like a guitar, and I wanted it to be a little bit more organic. So what I decided to do is to leave the MIDI as it is. I naturalized it a little bit more, but I pretty much left it mechanical and aggressive. But I had the idea to reamp the guitars through a real speaker, to push the amp very loud, to have at least 3 microphones in front of it. Basically the way I do it for every guitar, but I was just curious how that sounds if you reamp MIDI guitars and what it would do for the production. So today I wanted to show you my setup, everything I did to the microphones, the amp. I already did a little bit of an amp shootout, I prepared myself a little bit, and yeah, let's see what we get. So, this is the setup for the cab. We have 3 microphones. I try to keep it very simple. We have 2 SM57s, my all-time classic for guitars. It just has that sound, that familiar sound. They are pointing directly at the dust cap of the driver, so we get a bright sound, a present sound. That's something I wanted for this production, so I placed them exactly like this. And then we have the third mic, which is an SE Voodoo something. It's the active version. It's a ribbon microphone, and it's just right next to this first SM57 and pointing at the side of the driver to give us a little bit more bass information, like a guitar sub fader we have later. So I can always add a little bit more low end if I need it. We don't need a lot of low end for this production, but I still wanted to have the option to push it a little bit. And yeah, that's basically it. I can show you up close how those microphones are placed. So here we have the SM57s, as you see, pointing straight at the dust cap. Then we have the SE, the ribbon microphone. It is slightly tilted. Wait, it's difficult to show you, but it is tilted a little bit. So it points at the side of the cone here. So that's the setup for the speaker. I think next I will show you the amp. You have to go back into the control room. So let's go over the signal chain. What we have first is, of course, the software instrument. This is Odin. My track goes directly to the output of my converter, to the DAD. And back there we have a cable coming out, and this one is going directly to this Reamp box by Parma. And what this does is it converts the signal from line to instrument. And after this we have the Bad Monkey as a boost. I usually don't do too much on the boost. I just push the level a little bit and maybe some low end if I really need it, but in this case it's just a little bit of a boost. I try to use this boost on the amp, but I think it's made by Gojira Effects, but it was just not the right kind, so I stuck with the Bad Monkey. I really love this as a boost preamp for this EVH. That's the first amp that we are going to use. This may be the one we use for everything, I don't know yet. I have two other amps. I have the Jet City and I have a Marshall JMP, which I also like a lot for this project. It's more mid-focused. And then, of course, the signal goes out from the amplifier into the control room, and from there on the mics pick up the sound and it goes directly to our lovely Tascam here. I have the first SM57, second and the third fader is the ribbon, so I can push the low end as I explained before. I have just a little bit of EQ. I boosted a little bit of 80 to 90 Hertz on the low end microphone, and I cut a little bit of the highs because we don't quite need that too much here. And then I also have these two faders which are hardwired to our room mics in the ballroom, and they are up on the balcony somewhere, and we have a little bit more of a live feeling for the guitars. And yeah, let's get into the Odin. Right, let's go into Pro Tools and see what I did there. First of all, we have Odin, the software of our choice. Then we have the MIDI file. It was already very well programmed, so I didn't do much on that, just some minor stuff. What I did first in Odin is this humanize button, which just randomizes velocity a little bit and string noises and hand scratching noises, stuff like that. And I increased it by 25%, so we get a little bit of a unique performance out of it. And the other side, the left side, we have 45%. So on each side we have a slight different performance from the software, which is what we want. And then I have these settings as they were before, and I choose for the right side an 8-string in F-sharp standard, and for the left side I choose 6-string drop D. And that's just because the software will play it on different strings and in a slightly different register of the frequency spectrum, so we get two even more different performances, and we get a way more spreaded stereo field than we would get if we have a drop D 6-string on both sides. So that was kind of my approach on the Odin software. And then after that I just have a small EQ on it just to decrease the mid-range a little bit, and we had some 2K scratching noises. But yeah, the raw DI sounds like this. Not that exciting, but if we go to our outputs into our Reamp box and listen to the Reamp signal, we have this. So this is our room. Then with the two SM57s. Very bright and aggressive. And then we add the ribbon. I can even push it a little bit more. It's maybe too much. I think that sounds very good. So yeah, let's hear it in context. Then we also have some palm muted parts. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is basically just record the microphones, and then we have our reamped signal. So for the other guitar, so the left side, I am choosing another cap actually to get a little bit of a different sound. And this is a 2x12 supersonic cap from Fender. We are not using the top, it's just that I didn't want to take it off. And those are also vintage 30s, but they are obviously voiced a little bit different than the orange was. And yeah, so we will see how this sounds. Mics are the same placement, a little bit further away because I have this flight case underneath it, but should sound nice and crisp. And of course, for the other guitar, we are also choosing a different amp. So we are going with this beautiful Marshall JMP with a boost, of course, because it doesn't have that much gain as the 5150. But yes, that is what we are going for, and we will see how that sounds. Okay, final guitars, let's listen to it. The only thing I did in the meantime is I activated my mix bus and master bus, just so we have some volume, and I got the mix back that I had before tracking, but always bypass your plugins on your mix bus and master bus if you are tracking, because you will get some very bad latency. So here we go. I will play you the track without bass and guitar, and I will add it as we proceed. So let's go over the mics real quick. We have the room mic here. This one is panned 50% to the right. Then we have the ribbon. Distorts a little bit, but I really don't care about that too much. Then we have one SM57. The other one. So you see very different response to both vintage 30 speakers. So everything together is this. Okay, so this is it. I think it was worth it. It fits my production, and I got the sound that I had in my head that I couldn't achieve with the software amps. And I'm in no way a gatekeeper. I do 90% of my work with Neural DSP. So yeah, I was excited to try this out, and let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to see more from this production. I think I will do some more videos, especially on the drum mixing, because it's the only part of the song that is actually real. Let me know, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I hope to see you in another video.